law issues no so
law issues na ke odi encha Ghana de sha wajibre tabra wotie matching program Kessben na yembo mabaso enso ne djuma mudi edema the station and the nation called Ghana the di kan no police for na e wo say ye kanya say baby ayedu sisi no e was a omuma omani eda ho yie because my dream is say there was a police for no e wo intel and I say onim say ebia Chris Arthur ene ne nkrofo efri ha wo beko ha wo fri won so a wo beko ha e den a wo ba betwam e wo ha at the time a ebia Cynthia Morrison enso so ne nkrofo eye won rally e wo ha enti no security arrangement ben e na wo se ye se be ya enkofa pinchin ene saa na esi emba enti no police for ene e be koso asra won se wo ma wani na ho because mbre na aka na ka barely 1 month na ye kwa akoto aba edu saa bre stakes they are na very high political temperature no na arising enti be rising so a ya na possible say conflict ebeba
this year say I too much na
it is that the election way no stakes no very high. So election way stakes no very high. And until you know what's a police for no me nim so omunim say stakes they very high. And you want you careful out of desperation and the man be man crofobia I shall say I near be a bit disturb assume they are enjoying it. I will still urge the police. Say woman we need that now one shall say be prevent situations like this metie anope na me one kakra say group of people be able to me akọ blocking road say wato barrier say obi dru ha na ya stop car na cars above what is going on my dream say a new crash you drew stage in cra or say deploy enough security say be ya obetimi asisi and there might be I to say no. Go to baby Edrun and he say the security di agrokra. Or the police for all the security agencies no more alert. Because I'm you won't know. I was say on that whole year say be prevent situations like this.
Right, after me move on after yen call Parliament. Na yen share the impasse of Parliament. The chief imam say the MPs na our parliament na ensure goodwill. No resolve that parliamentary impasse no na entimi emwa na democracy entimi konenim. Former President John Dramani Mahama akasa say obo the speaker baso ewo the maturity and then courage wisdom o show ye say ne ye ne waye nti o ma yenya parliament amfa yenya a constitutional crisis na emum yetimi a resolve and I say yetimi kutasukuta ye peace mu na ono call for a review of the constitution eno eho ensem enso ewo ha la mamiti wi ani abehwe de ode asem na kodan high court no enso so ba mamiti on this we answer
okay the kind of chief imam edia o kind me no eya adwen say ya to yemu bi atra haka say Thursday crampo there na me read the oath of the speaker's oath the oath of allegiance and all that na me kan say be ya ibe hu say say na wo oath of a member of parliament and no madwen yem say na say crampo there one new standing orders there will cover by na wo kwa no pa bia speaker say one recite
the national pledge anthem
so mo recite say na ma no hwie na ko ba say abra Ghana for here won say we be choose between Ghana and one political allegiance now what towards political allegiance at the expense or to the detriment of Ghana na omode end in year a free speaker ebesi the last member of parliament and the chief imam can one ring Ghana after all KOD menu sika ye jijin kakra I tia and I subsidize the comfort of members of parliament and the speaker we provide security for them ye talker
a mom
even though we be there but heavily subsidized you provide everything to subsidize our comfort so we am so betu anamo a ebeboa Ghana e di abra ye hi omo ene sa abra ye wo mi because say me kana no say wo ye dwuma ye ni na wo bo won sam say ne ekoso parliament wani agye a kai say ye si January a wakatu an hin ne be fiaba we contingency budget a wo se ye a be ma aban na nya sika or bedie first quarter 2025 e won sam ne ye kan yo and to one say nya dey fa ho
ti omo chese say parliament cram maybe wa there's no problem
no problem we are say mba na we here but we see January now say whoever wins no wakatu amba when they go to
meaning say before rising there are certain things they need to put in place
things they will have to do can you imagine see any budget approved budget bia whoever will be winning no how do you expect the person say first quarter no obego vengana azama ye kanu nye sebi say bo sama mo bi say wako that's not why it is the mini chief imam yadwin now back to former president Mahama madwin yam say well he baby o free ba no me nka say me condemn me say obo speaker abaso won say obo bi abaso a say ne atwa kan yi obo na abaso a e bia na mo na otu ye aboa wo amaye the moment I can say minority for no metamorphosize into a majority na ana or ye greater Kraton okay say sabri kram podie ye nyanto aba no mpo no say ye nya be majority and the casting events no cast their shadows coming events cast their shadows na che say ye guso aye win ne kwa e feed into the NDC agenda and the former president Mahama or no and the leader NDC caso or bo honorable abambabe abaswa would be for tono
anyway
yeah meneno enya adwen and say all can say say honorable speaker babin kwanya ofa so or handle situation na nke benya constitutional crisis for where constitutional crisis for where any problem KOD any problem say they bia me can say me on this issue honorable Abansman Babin or a right speaker parliament or no and akofa sa na ye wom sisi ya ba parliament
or no na akofa ba
problem bia ni ho
okay
na problem bia ni ho or no na akofa sa problem ya ba now who say the ya na interesting kakra and say depending on baby cry obia allegiance then interest one if lawyers say what say idea ye nim say ye black and white it drew say ye comment on this because of political expediency now ye the different interpretation and I to so but unim and now obi Benjamin
yawo tete say yawo tete
what two anamon say dey or no echo high court say high court and the what to me say o declare seat vacant in terms of Article 97 1G and H. Menen ya rema kan wada.
Yeah.
So Article 99 1A no clear. Say high court and the what jurisdiction say would declare whether a seat an MP is duly elected or a seat in parliament has become vacant. And until who speak and the church him that I say all the other scenarios until so bedru G and H you know there. A plain and here any interpretation because the BCBR no physically the person will not be in parliament.
Okay.
And then you only announce say seat that be vacant. Because beware a natural occurrence.
Yeah.
Seat that be vacant. And
I don't know
parliament for just so free me.
John Kuma, honorable John Kuma. Yeah.
Dispute to be or say declare the seat vacant because physically it's not there.
Okay.
So be so I resign or no ankasa sign. So I resign ko parliament be but physically the person is not there. So there's a vacancy.
Okay.
Obi is Supreme High Court to be and a Circuit Court to be a could do asem. So yes, member of parliament. Say wakodi ade bia any say wakoya yemfa no say example the account. Yemfa no say honorable a minority leader at case ato forcing. The case say nya court of appeal ne bam e de kan say at the time a High Court would di asem no wie ya wo close wo prosecution close the case no. Na woni case to answer. And in the High Court, in this or one submission of no case to answer no ego. And then can be a High Court to no cause to the accept no finding no guilty. At that stage, ufri courtroom where you are not coming back to parliament. So
physically you won't be there.
Vacant.
Okay.
It is speaker there. You announce vacancy.
Okay.
And the obiane any qualms, any problem.
But when the say you see say nipa ni ho. No one announce.
The person is not there. And only one the seat no a vacant.
Okay.
You only announce.
Okay.
So only one the seat no say a vacant. You only announce. But in this situation here, speaker copy praying who could make a pronouncement. These members of parliament physically were there in parliament. About to your makonyaso. Who when him say we declare him seat in vacant. Me was scenarios now constitution no a create say e basa yen declare vacancy no. See in some of us ye view. Also speaker and why dwen you say asi. The moment I will say two parties and I say two contesting parties put varied interpretation on constitutional provision. The law is so clear. So Article 2, 1 and 130 of the Constitution kickstarts. There was a Supreme Court, a boom, no better interpretation. And and they are obese properly, in my view, or High Court, no. Even though I am late. Senka odi kan echo High Court before a speaker ebeye any declaration. So be court say High Court say scenarios BSc na on declare it in vacant. High Court be kwa asem no. Those people will have opportunity to be heard.
Okay.
The Odi or Trumpatem rule, which says you have the right to be heard. And a free garden of aiding. Because Yankopon Adam ni if also on the apple was a member on carry no carry as a woman when no codio. Yankopon himself with the apple.
I gave them hearing.
Wabu nemra this mouse. But he gave them the right to be heard. I say, hey, Kwaben Adam. Okay, maybe you so I say, hey, Adam. Kofi Adam.
Kofi Adam so you video. I say about the
Adana. Me say, men yes I deal with
no akoye.
Adam see if. Yankopon ka say, oh Adam. Then fin me di if with the Adam can the final. Oko if wo. Say if na dey. Say me bo ama obi a. Bottom line is if so man opinion no so you go away so. O won kwa na hwe a wanya the right to be heard. What I say. It the point e ho na odi or Trumpatem rule no free. Say every individual bia na asema e fa no ho has the right to be heard.
No matter how clear evidence
the person has a right to be heard. Asem say ko High Court send ya ene obi akọ High Court ya nipa no ye defendant ono so benya akwanya de na no December then the High Court will weigh the evidence no will make a determination. And think a problem bia any ho because asem na da ho no people say a plain simple black and white. The plain simple black and white no was the same. First one no say so be a cross carpet so be free her. In this case, I will be why not free aqua.
Obianco baby.
Obian sorry free side has or side here.
Physically, the person must rise to that place.
Precisely so that the number dynamics in parliament will change. Because movie free, now call her. Short by one.
Increasing by one. Okay.
So number dynamics will change.
Okay.
On this occasion, will be at it in the city so parliament. Who say medical a seat vacant when the party na konyaso. How?
Ti obi ntimi nyina se mo party constitution mo pronouncement bi am say pronouncement bi by in parliament some time ago and in chronic ban so I'm standing on these evidences now for me the yes say na am so mekan.
That is why in the wisdom of parliament na kasas wisdom of parliament one standing orders clear and speaker was clear unambiguous about that. Say he was not bound by Professor Michael Quay's ruling because it's like a situation where Speaker A by obey say no yeah na the teaching channel Speaker B ba because the terms and scenarios may be different and the person could justify Michael Quay there which me I don't subscribe to. Professor Michael Quay at that time no it won't say obia and fan court to ma ojina so a bia okan se ne okan no fa ne hodi
okay
se go be the court e dey draw an attention say obia court na can also hold on but ono ne na asem no ba obia amfa court nti scenario no different and na ono ne dey no to give him the benefit of the doubt the party wrote
officially
to the Speaker of Parliament officially to indicate clearly, say, Yen Asumasia to Anamon Winti, he is no longer a member of the New Patriotic Party, for which reason he cannot purport to be there in the name of our party.
Okay.
So there was something before Speaker. And Speaker gave Honorable Asiama opportunity to respond.
Okay.
On this occasion, Honorable Speaker Babe, why no man opportunity to? I don't even want to glorify that, because one of our arguments, say a suit one, and I will use to say, and I don't even want to glorify that.
Okay.
Say Honorable Professor Michael Quay say not or you wronger, and my baby and you're right.
Okay.
Say not or you writer, and my baby and you're right, because scenarios no may be different.
Okay.
But moving forward, once the Supreme Court is seized with the matter, court to be a baby. Because Supreme Court to know
we have separation of powers. Ebisi our government your legislature, your judiciary na when no supersede when na when overrule when and chroniba.
One can in the context. Or more yes, I make us say who says a fact be set of facts be depending on one baby crowd free banner. Because one what can say there was supremacy of parliament, and because of that, parliament is insulated. About one Juma dia say a judiciary no ebekoha him fana would derive us assembly free.
Okay.
Walk of a free a Montesquieu, the separation of powers, no more can theoretically, and as all more can Ghana, present day Ghana. The answer is absolutely no.
Okay.
So we'll call a history man. Or might be a we say one constitution, because constitution is a living document. Or might be a one constitution was a son or it means a BBS. Yes, who need baby, I will free by who baby, I will call. And you know, call any man, I will just say, then they seem to be a watching. See, I will bang and I'll bet me a free more. So that will call a name no a best ever as a guide, useful guide, of course.
Okay.
And you know where Ghana, ya man your sema ya sha siena under the 1957 Independent Constitution. Na under British colonial government, and you see ye independence. At the time, no constitution na ye 57 constitution no. Na the model no a purely British system of government. And even though na prime minister no Osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah no. The pakra no head of state then no British the Queen of England.
Yeah.
And the governor na no representing no say na ye act bia of parliament as a governor no ansanya embedimu. The limitations are never na pay total freedom. And the my the 1960 Republican Constitution nearby. And they say ye call republic. Pamlo chano ye pe governor bia obetna hasen san ye laws bia my uncle. Bronin ko the chrome na ye ntwa ya.
And
1960 Constitution no so eba and say wo be share. And the constitution was say enye pe because 1960 Constitution no so even though a republic and a president, at the same time, also a prime minister and everything, Not parliament, very powerful.
Okay.
So Bakaya, Osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Tama, Bafwa Koto, Numsa, and 7 others. Ekonya case, lawyer Bia or Wako Law School behind him, say Ria Koto, memorial lectures, and behind him the Ria Koto case. About constitutionalism and on a day, and the test I never worry could say, look, these people are not actually more more fundamental human right was at stake. And in no more expected the Supreme Court at the time, and I just Sako Kosa Nana or ye we say Chief Justice and say one say not president was swear off. Say Obe protect the fundamental human right of every Ghanaian. And these people were Ghanaians. Until the oath now was swearing into na say Obe say Obe protect the fundamental human right of the accused persons. Put him there Chief Justice Akokos at that time okay. Or say President in time na and I say oath na was swear and I say what can it a coronary oath. I say President Abano baby sebe protected Moraba. I don't say constitution that guarantee right to be unprotected. and lawyers actually condemn side na Chief Justice no kan say honor Chief Justice no kan say Parliament and or Satan is supreme. Apart from changing a man into a woman and a woman into a man, no Parliament once
can do anything.
Law, no, final.
Okay.
That was the 1960 Republican Constitution.
Okay.
And you know, Tama you call 1964, so Obekaya. Parliament enya majority, absolute majority in Parliament. You know, omo amend Constitution nanka Ghana ye multi-party state. You know, ebe Ghana one-party state. And all other political parties apart from CPP prescribe as a one to me as a political party, effectively wiping away every
political party. Okay.
In Ghana, 1964. And you know, you had on one day almost sorry or more parliamentary supremacy. No, maybe I'm one and tell myself, person with Ghana, bro, and I say, I didn't in a walk answer because and nam near ye who denti. I am my parliamentary supremacy, a ma Ghana, majority to Mrs. San, constitution, by a Ghana, one party state in T. 1979 constitution, they move away from the 1960 constitution. Even 1969, I cried about a chassis. And about 1979, any time I don't want to spend my time. That moving forward, about 1992, I had drafted a constitution. You could find 1969, and you find 1979 constitution, and you hear the shortfalls are not a womb. And Nunti for the first time in the history, constitutional history of Ghana, the fundamental human right, the whole chapter 5. Is dedicated to fundamental human rights of Ghanaians.
Okay.
Now we're also reading in it takes inspiration from Declaration of Rights under the United Nations. And you know now a guide and the entrenched provisions now so that the Parliament in Pokonya majority and easy say without recourse to us through referendum we bet me those provisions.
Yeah.
And unti na Ghana say untumi unya absolute majority cry untumi nsesa Ghana made one party state until say you go through rigorous constitutional processes. You cannot.
Okay.
And the who denti. In the 1992 constitution no say me constitution na me supreme. TNU. No institution. And enjoy that.
Say a year presidency. Say a year when you
separation of powers now. You want groupophobia canon. And you Montesquieu the NBA because say president a year DB. Na obisu say president and na Montona what to 1 2 year. Obi wa kwanya say otutumbrika ediko Supreme Court say or invoke the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court say, declare the act of the president and say a null and void. And I say, we don't have time. I don't want to go back and enumerate all of them. And a more executive in a tour. I could drew Supreme Court and Supreme Court, you know, you were wrong.
It's not right.
It's not right because you enjoy constitutional supremacy in Ghana. And the Supreme Court or no any authority or declares as inconsistent and for that matter null and void, and they carry the final what they say at the Supreme Court, on any case it becomes final.
Okay.
Until say be able take steps, now Parliament be enact specific law as a society, it becomes a law.
Okay.
That's why we call the judge or case law in Ghana judicial precedents. A part of the laws of Ghana under Article 11 of the Constitution. And in Article 11 of the Constitution is also an entrenched provision, which means it's signed by a simple majority in Parliament. And the year who denti and I want our new Constitution with why yes and sheno. Memo beyond Trababi or Ghana and they and Kababiada. Say your parliamentary supremacy. And the Parliament Kasa a closed book. Or more can or more quote to 4 versus Attorney General. Yeah, the later more to 4 versus Attorney General. Now, that case they decided under the 1979 Constitution,
which is different from this Constitution.
Is different from this Constitution.
Okay.
This Constitution, Supreme Court for on numerous occasions, and I interpreted the Constitution to say, we do not have parliamentary supremacy in Ghana under the 1992 Constitution. Full stop.
Okay.
So, for old case. Now, say the parliamentary and a closed books and a matter say commentate the Bebre can or Ghana because of that. No back to 4 versus Attorney General. When you have a recent decision, you decided no under the 1992 constitution. Our constitution no say there's supremacy of the constitution, and because of that, say speaker eyade, and as a parliament pass him rebi. That's will be the Supreme Court say some brana parliament are passing no, and na won't be a parliament at two no, and the constitution no bra. Supreme Court at now I can say to the extent of the inconsistency no null and void.
Okay.
Now say Justice Abdullahi and your standing orders. So Bekaya a time I will call read budget and I say we have been making the rule or the call Supreme Court and they answer the Supreme Court kind. Supreme Court declares our standing orders and say inconsistent
with the
provisions of the constitution. So it's null and void. And then the way that Justice Abdullahi no I 5 to 4 versus Attorney General say or parliamentary supremacy. Send mischief now, person we are.
Anyway.
There's no argument. Say
so that means it's an issue, ma. Possibly be a obian raising, obian camoche.
I mean, my boy. No problem. So Supreme Court, a parliament, would do on Jume until say, Obi be sorry, I could say. And among we are to no pass narcotics a year, we are a year, a obedient court Supreme Court to say, quite our fast or pass and brand be in the constitution, and then a Supreme Court kind.
Quash it.
So when you know that we name now say or parliamentary supremacy, I would derive authority from where?
Anyway.
We don't have
anyway.
A illusion. Even baby, I derive ya no cross, I didn't free. Even recently in the United Kingdom. And among to now gradually that so-called parliamentary supremacy is whittling away. Because parliament two and among be aqua drew a because one Supreme Court and Supreme Court kaka said no. Nana wo person was some group for be detail what do one call a illegal immigrants and they say they will call and then some na court. Kaka say no. Even there it is whittling away. Until please. What we have a constitution and maybe near a absolute power members parliament so that party could be winning majority seats in parliament or be sign a constitution at the whim of the party in power. Until they did 2 minute come judiciary. It is the president to be trying the first term. Now we lose elections. Now we kwaba na nyambia na adom. Now along the line, what Timmy has been winning another 4 terms. No trying to 4 terms, we answer no baby, you know, say me or majority in parliament to be percent constitution so that may no message another term. Yes, so be rational Supreme Court to pay. Supreme Court will have to do interpretation. And just as Supreme Court can say, there would have been a constitution sanity.
But also bet me a mistake. They're also human beings. They can also
a mistake to send a wako theater. You do a koto na doctor say obey operation. No your operation we say wow.
Ntimi ka hwe. Ntimi nya no hwe.
Supreme Court no. So omo tena say na omo ye nipa 5. Na we take decision. That's a decision after the decision we no opportunity na be call for review. Na the 2 be count no omo ye 7. Na review for no can say after the review the position not to send their 5 no trust na wo kan na and no na be ye mbra wo Ghana. Say ye yo, say wujitumbo, say wujitum. That becomes the final verdict of the Supreme Court. That becomes the law. Until see ebe take practical steps, see ebe pass emra to change that. That becomes the law. And then they say the doctor do or you know akoti at doctor operation or say whoa. And you know that is why it ends. Because uzo muye nipanu ene transe. Eba say increase ya. Na ye konson so almost starting so e ba say increase no mo ko enkono when they speak as 9 justices of the Supreme Court. No almost say presidential elections petition e ba ye ko mu no e KOD e na win enti ono dey declare no so a president.
It ends
finito
there.
It ends there.
Wow.
Full stop.
Can we use Napo's case as a case study? Being selected as the running mate and in a parliamentary seat in Honsensem.
Oh, say, a business idea, what can I say? Or more constitution, no, emu, anyone standing orders, no, a womb. So when you are absent from Parliament without the authorization or permission of the Speaker of Parliament for a certain number of days, you shall vacate your seat. And Obeka Honorable Adjasafo, Ediano Ebai. But the Ghana for a refi, and yet Honorable Adjasafo Diano. I mean, in CBB. So 2005, I'm watching no a member of Parliament for a grandson of. And I know a case with US, some cocaine issue. All concern waje permission from Speaker for a number of days. But because omu detaining one was any case no go into beyond the number of days, I know waje permission. Wouldn't so be the court. Oh, be the court. The part of the court say because of say dates now, the man no na a the rest of the days now spending on na only permission of the Speaker and he declare the city vacant. MIA chobo a cobaya. What the court said, they say a woman say dates na Speaker the man na nipano abroso. But at the time, no, not there was a case. He had the right to be heard.
One of the important winners is the right to be heard.
In view of that, because na asem na ba or say would decide say you're innocent and I say you're innocent. Now also defending the right as a human being, So that days now, even though technically that one just permission and free speaker here. Then so now all defending the right as a human being, because of that. The side days, no court no fan say with permission.
I see.
And until na make us say the until no binu mo say shall vacate then automatically means say o speaker akokasa will be vacate. Because this one went to court under Article 99(1)(a) of the Constitution, and a court no so declared.
I see.
And my point is that MI could drew up the Supreme Court says no because of the situation until we felt say it was with permission. And my point is that Napo the air working. If we be a per se say speaker 2 more, there are steps.
Or bet me I take it.
I was said there's a committee which will have to investigate and then come out with claims and then members of Parliament. I say it will be since I have sworn in as an MP because of ill health. Until by Parliament.
Yeah.
But Obian to to an amount because they are ready to me about
yeah.
There were some of them Abekaya and Bribi Omukwa brooches some because some yare they binum ASNK won't invoke including our honorable Canada Japan and a now Minister for Interior Henry Cote and others. People said say oh CD the number of days I was on the copper. But hey, Obi area rock or ho area was the name. Now Obi nim the dachi Obi enema omuyedi. My point is that asemba yenya butre and then our two be ochina ebetimi ato. There asi wo parliament see one hour so wo independence ye mu bi no me matna haka say ne and when you are bedi member of Parliament on the ticket of a political party, when you are be a minister on the ticket of the party that do call Parliament, say they will say, the party no procedure now we you as a parliamentary candidate, you did the same procedure now. Akotwa bana you if you will be a banana won't say, who call independent, I will judge because Jane was selfish parochial interest. But already if you say. So be win, so be lose, and no problem. But so who party na bro? Maybe na be tie mu say the number dynamics na hwe ye na Cynthia Morrison no etimi etwe votes no bi ahwe na PP and lose that city. Se koba no sa se wo wunti. Party na waboa wa ma ya be frɛ honorable. Abeye minister. Se wo wunti party no ko lose that seat. E bia wo de also won't find because of say why your party na bro bachrom wow showdown na woma any woman na dachi obi be sorry say ebia na wa ben wa bon ho modern ben ho atete ne ho anyantete abedrum pempeso a otumi ko gina as a member of Parliament on the ticket of wono because the party na we member. Somebody will refer say, hey, Murefi, yes, Cynthia Morrison Bao.
Mojani bi na mu.
Papa be mean pesa me kai nkro for ya Jauchem. A ring a bell. The name Jauchem, a ring a bell. and Kaimo Musanti no day. My point is that so one who two and more and there men drink and they won't come.
Okay.
Think about generation who produce because what your actions today, your inactions today may come back to haunt the very
future generations. Yeah.
And now Kazana Mombe and Biantimina. Payimfoa etu anamon bia wo so to bia na san wo se pictures e ba na moka ken de Japan ene ya fenyo marking omo wa fenyo marking office omo ne no nyina de omsa to onkom people even fell say because of that say onko biem and all that quickly and omo ba bontin be deny say ntisa and all that. The point is that maybe you do no such chinchina obekwa no problem, but me I'm worried about disturbances are eba hono payimfoa we na wontu wana high court case no KOD asem no enya maaye no ena nkana obi e was they call high court for proper declaration invoking article 99(1). Even that me sitting here as a lawyer looking at it me pleadings now, there's a first hurdle the person will have to cross, that is whether or not the person even has local standard.
Okay,
that is capacity.
Okay,
because Supreme Court today, under Article 2(1) and 130 of the Constitution, so we call for interpretation. The asema ye bisa a local standard and a capacity. I say, are you a Ghanaian? Because I want to emphasize on the word Ghanaian.
Okay.
Or you matured. Or you of sound mind.
Okay.
And every Ghanaian bia na dream daho.
Our
matured person can go to Supreme Court for interpretation.
Okay.
Eba article 99(1) hono kona se wo fundamental human rights and I will claim se na no betra ka say constituencies na sa for MPs ni film no na me say e bi omunkra mpo be sorry
high court yes
wo right bi a e wo say obisa speaker say na one piece no e wo but Benjamin Tete ya wa kwa me hwe ni pleadings no the first one they disclose who you are anti awo ba court no awo bo court pono no me hwe on your kan so ye Ghanaian one cancer or attachment to
any of the constituencies
and as to whether say being a Ghanaian simplicity alone including with capacity to go to the high court for nearmana or penal that is up to the court to look at it.
Okay.
But and me just you mean the next one say when Supreme Court is seized with the mandate to interpret a provision in the Constitution, Supreme Court no enya transia or assume the powers of all the other courts I wanna say. Okay.
So when I want say Supreme Court
say senka asem no edi kan ko high court.
Okay.
And na send e awako high court Benjamin Tete e kan so susu say interpretation and speaker here no one na ya adwen. Na defendants no so say there be interpretation and speaker here the speaker ti. It means that there's a varied interpretation being put on the provision in the Constitution.
Okay.
It do that stage law na e Ghana say it was a high court to no state proceedings that or refer the matter of interpretation to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Now any kind high court ama ya nye referral to the Supreme Court for interpretation. Emomobia di kind at the asem no echo Supreme Court for interpretation. Enso ato ama yada ade acha ama yada.
I feel not the same.
The high court no Supreme Court is seized with the interpretation of whether or not these seats are abeye vacant by virtue of anamombi and crofona. And the high court no say no obeka den.
Oni hweka.
Make us only hweka some na me bisa. Because I court to the
okay.
Let's see
what happened. The review of the 1992 Constitution. Especially on these matters.
This matter we here review.
We here review.
Because we say the Crawford Refi say American Constitution na kiti bio. Omu Supreme Court's various interpretations are why over the period and Emma Constitution enyi.
Okay.
The same way in Ghana, 1992 Constitution no. Every day a Supreme Court interpretation no. Now we'll build it on Because in 1992, ebesi sabre ye ko enimpa o.
32 years.
Edi bia want to me I visage say bia na ebeye Supreme Court interpretia na abeye part of the laws of Ghana under Article 11 of the Constitution. And we review na be the year.
The Supreme Court interpretation is also a review.
Yes. Yes. But don't we say you do baby a Constitution no ya run ache. And you know the Professor Mills, President Kufuor Kayo say na here constitutional review na breso antimi ambaso President Mills by no no dey tu anamon e ma ye power constitutional review commission
rather
say and we a holistic review of the constitution. I mean Professor Tukuba then and na eye panya na odasa adwuma ko na no and panyimfo atitro the representation say koye na nipa what na ase na adwuma wo ye na nya asem ketwa book obu produce ye ne kase be ye say every aspect and they complaining na no by sealing whether or not we should upper sealing in Supreme Court, whether or not was a district assembly elections yem kon say when I say was say ni nyina constitutional review commission ekwa ye say adwuma ni nyina what they buy no President Mills enya kokoduro
I implement it.
Wow. And ekodai. But the good thing is that ene Honorable Chairman Sabunsu, Honorable say Chairman Sabunsu, some pioneer, our member of Parliament for Swami. Onono as leader of Parliamentary, Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. Why initiate a processes are warrior engagement say wobe aspects of the constitution. You better review constitution. And they are far advanced with the stakeholder engagement or more share aspect of the constitution they hear review. I'm sure that at the right time no. A beba Ghana for na yehu inputa other so be making to that. But I'm aware say honorable say chairman Sabosu ne panyimfo a ono won share constitution no I share aspect here review no. They are doing a fantastic job. And I think say at the appropriate time it will come up for deliberations and discussions. They there obi obeka say constitution no baby edu ni yen sign shame na yen review no many dipa kro ya adwen 100% because it's a living document. It should live with us.
We grow with it.
Prospective and progressive.
Okay. Lawyer Ohene Gyan and what in Kano